fairly regularly here at District Youth, we do something where we kind of have a little bit of a target area for us to hit. Because if you don't have any real target, you just kind of mindlessly wander. Anybody ever been in the car with somebody who got lost? Anybody ever tried to go somewhere and kind of didn't know? Like maybe it's your first day of school at a new school, and you're wandering around like, bro, where is my class at? Like, I have no idea what's going on. We see that happen often, and what we realize and what is really beneficial is we want to have some version of a target for us to hit, because as we have a target, then we're able to accomplish something. So District Youth typically has a target. Last year, all year long pretty much, we talked about the value and the importance of identity. Say it one more time, Janiyah. Say it a little bit louder, like people sleepy. Identity. That's my girl, thank you so much. I so much appreciate you. Last year we talked about identity. This year, we have a new focus for the beginning half of the year. One thing that we will be talking about, close your eyes for a second. Everybody close your eyes for a second. Everybody, thank you, I've been waiting to do this all day. Now open your eyes real fast. Some of y'all cheated, so we don't have to do it again. Some of y'all like, what's about to happen? Close your eyes. Now open your eyes real fast. Thank you, even y'all participated, I really appreciate it. We're talking about the value and the importance of focus. What we are able to put a target on, what we're able to look at and see what it's all about. I feel like that's something super valuable that happens at the beginning of every year. People come up with goals to be a better version of themselves. I was talking to my girl Ice Tray, and she was saying how some people say, new year, new me. Anybody ever heard that phrase before? New year, new me. I'm going to be better than I ever was before. You ain't never seen me act like this before. But Ice Tray was saying, actually, I'm more of a new year, better me, because I don't need to change all that much, because she's fantastico. If you don't know Ice Tray, trivia, then you should definitely get to know her, because I think for some of us, the only way we're going to actually have a better version of ourselves or a better year than we had last year is by focusing on the right things. If I was being honest, some of y'all focus on some wild stuff. Anybody ever? Okay, y'all being like, Pastor said, you don't even know, I don't do that. Then just give me a list of things that people focus on. Yell something out that you feel like people focus on. Just yell it out, go ahead. Themselves, good answer, Steve. Social media, good answer, Steve. Come on, what else? Instagram, not Facebook. That's social media, but I appreciate the specificity. What else do people focus on? Lust, ooh. Themselves, ooh. Pride, yeah, y'all deep. I went basic. Anybody ever focus on impressing somebody else? Oh, so y'all just perfect, okay. Anybody ever focus on money? Okay, they're like, okay, I feel that one. Anybody ever focus on romantic relationships? You don't even know about my boy or my girl. Let me tell you, Pastor. Hey, dog, my girl fine. Let me tell you. Anybody ever focus on video games? Anybody ever focus on school? Some of y'all are like, I be there, but I don't be focused. Anybody ever focus on food? Anybody ever focus on family? Anybody ever focus on, some of y'all be like, nah. Anybody ever focus on work? Those who got a job like, whew. Let me tell you. Anybody ever focus on friends? Anybody ever focus on Jesus? You ain't got to lie, Craig. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings if you don't lie. Anybody ever have personal goals that they want to accomplish and they focus on them goals? A lot of these things in and of themselves are not bad things. I wasn't out here, like y'all was like, lust and stealing, and I wasn't even going that far. Like, I be focused on my romantic relationship. I am married. I focus on my time with my wife. That's important. That's not a bad thing. But if it becomes the only thing that I focus on, then it can be wrong. And that's what we're going to talk about for the start of this year, is the value and the importance of focus and how to focus. We're going to dive in by talking about the relationship aspect of focus next week with Pastor Ashley. We're going to talk a little bit about a character in the Bible who had to focus on the right thing, because if he didn't, he would die. And Daniel in the lion's den. We're going to talk tonight about one of the most famous characters of the Bible, but who is also a real man, and an aspect that he has called us to do as well, which is focusing through fasting. Focus through fasting. Bow your heads, lower your heads, close your eyes, just so we can really focus. I'm going to pray really quick. Heavenly Father, you're awesome. Speak to us. Amen. You know, them deep, long prayers are the best prayers. But I think, this is just how I am, so if you've never seen me before, I apologize, but not really, because this is what he made me. If you had a definition for the word focus, what would y'all define the word focus to mean? Someone yell it out. What you think of when you hear the word focus? Concentrate. Good answer, Steve. Trajectory. Good answer, Steve. Come on, someone else. You said what? Set up halfway. Cool. What'd you say? Set goals. Cool. Anybody else? Vision. Okay. Y'all paying attention. Y'all some smart people. I love to hear y'all answers, but I'm going to give you a few of the definitions coming straight from the internet, because where else would I get answers from? Not an actual dictionary. Focus. The center of interest or an activity. Focus. The state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition. Let's see what focus looks like in action as a verb. Focus of a person or their eyes adapting to the prevailing level of light and being able to clearly see. Sometimes when I'm trying to focus specifically through fasting, I feel like this feels like me. Like I feel like everybody over there, see, I'm not focused. Sometimes I feel like this. I feel like I'm trying to focus on something, but everything just kind of has me disoriented. And I think the reason this occurs is because we haven't realized that there are some steps that we can take to be at our most level of peak focus. And one of those things is focusing through fasting. So here at New City Church, the church that you're at currently, if you've never been here before, we are currently in about a 2-week-long fast. So you may see some people in here who look hungry. They are. You may see some people in here who breath smells stale. It's because they ain't ate. If your breath ain't never smelled stale, that means you ain't never went on a fast before. I fasted for a week before, like 7 days, no food. My breath just smells stale. I would chew gum, and the gum would be like, bruh, so? Like, your breath still stale, just there. I think it's valuable for you to realize the reason that New City Church goes on a fast, and the reason that we as DY are attempting to do the fast as well, is because we know that there are benefits that come through fasting, specifically learning how to focus. Jesus is one of the people who fasted in the Bible. And if you look at Jesus' life, there's one thing that you can see all throughout of it, and that he was clearly and consistently focused on the task at hand. Make sure you're not on your phones, not listening to AirPods or listening to music. This is not the time for that. Thank you so much. But we see Jesus fast throughout Scripture. And I'm actually going to read a little bit, and then I'm going to break it down. We're going to do a quick analogy, and then we'll be done. Is that cool with everybody? Read a scripture, analogy, finish up. That's usually a good path. So we're going to start at Matthew 4, verse 1 through 11. It says, Jesus is tested in the wilderness. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After 40 days and 40 nights, someone say 40 days. Someone say 40 nights. Say it one more time with a little bit of energy and you can sit right back down. 40 days, 40 nights. You can sit back down. So after 40 days and 40 nights, it says he was hungry. No duh. If I didn't eat for 40 days and 40 nights, I would be hungry as well. Then it says in verse 3, the tempter came to him and said, if you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread. Verse 4, Jesus answered, it is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Verse 5, then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. If you are the Son of God, he said, throw yourself down, for it is written. This is the devil saying, this is what the Bible says. He will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. And then Jesus said in verse 7, it is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Verse 8, again the devil took him to a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. Jesus said to him, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Then the devil left him and angels came and attended him. I think it's important and valuable for us to realize where this is coming. This is coming right after God, specifically Jesus, learns of his true identity. So Jesus had been living his life. Right before this, he gets baptized. When he comes out of the water, a dove descends, and we hear, this is my son. Just imagine you're there. He fully knows his identity. That's why we started last year with an identity series, and right now we're focusing on focus. Because we see the same thing happen to Jesus. He knew who he was. Once you know who you are, you're able to focus on the right things. Some of you are so distracted by all the things that are happening around you. That's because you're really kind of concerned or confused about who you are. Once you begin to know yourself a little bit deeper, actually know not just yourself, because knowing yourself, that's cool, but knowing who the person created you to be said you were. Then you begin to speak, act a little bit different. You act like you know who you are. Like, I've been to places where like people know my dad, and I walk in the room a little bit different than when I walk in a room where nobody know me. Because I know, oh, you my son. Hey, you get whatever you want. Hey, you want one of these? Hey, you want that? I got you. Because I know who I am. Because I know who my dad is. Once you get to know who your dad is, which is God the Father, then you can act a little bit different when you walk into some rooms. And not only do you act a little bit different, but then your focus begins to be on the right thing. So let's talk about what fasting actually looked like. The first couple of verses talks about fasting, and then we talk about what happens right after. We'll get to that. But fasting, by definition, is to abstain as a religious exercise from food and drink. Either entirely, if the fast lasted a single day, or customarily, sometimes it was specific types of fasts that lasted for multiple days on end. So what is the difference between fasting and starving? Can I be honest? Some people in here, when we said we want you guys to attempt to fast, some of y'all was like, I'm good. Cool, I get it. You may not be there yet. Some of you guys were like, I'm going to try to fast, Pastor Zach. What do I do now? Let me give you a very important lesson. The main important part for fasting is you are attempting, it's going to look weird, but I promise it's what you're doing. I'm beating my flesh into submission. Break it down a little bit. Anybody ever been to the gym before? Anybody ever worked out before? Anybody ever walked a mile, ran a mile? Anybody ever did a sit-up, push-up? Anybody ever stretched? Anybody ever did anything active? If you walked in here, you've done something active, and you are the people I'm talking to. If you've ever done something active, what we are asking you to do with fasting is for you to do the same thing, where you are putting some spiritual muscles into action the same way that you sometimes put physical muscles into action. We are asking you to not just be the same that you did when you started fasting, but to look to change. So recently, myself and Pastor Ashley got a membership at a gym, right? Let me tell you, this gym is nice, and part of the membership is the first week you meet with not just a personal trainer, but you meet with somebody who can help you attain your fitness goals. This guy went to college specifically to be a kinesiologist, so he can understand the way muscles work, the way your body works, the way movement works within your body, all of these different things, right? And he does his test, he breaks us down like, yeah, actually, let me guess, this is what you have bad sleeping because of these reasons. Nails them down like this. Never met me before, just starts nailing me down. I was like, hold up, how you know me? You been reading my mail? You saw my bank account. You saw that I went to the chiropractor. That's how you knew. No, he just knew. And part of it also, we get a chance to get a personal trainer. If you've ever had a personal trainer, or you've ever had anybody like leading you through an exercise, one of the reasons they're there is to try to push you. So, we get a personal trainer, and I haven't worked out consistently and for real, since about 2019, early 2020, right before the pandemic. And I remember I'm there, and I'm like, all right. He's like, have you ever been active before? I was like, yeah, back in the day, like I was really active. I would go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. My max right before I stopped working out was 500 pounds on deadlift. I was going crazy on squats. I was benching consistent. Like I was in there. Like we was for real. Oh, say less. I got you. Puts me up under the bar. We're gonna start with some squats. Granted, I ain't worked out in 2 years. All right, I'm doing my first couple sets. Cool, warm up, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Second set. We're just gonna put 225 on there. We're gonna do that for 4 more sets, about 10 reps. I ain't worked out in 2 years. You sure? You got this. Let me go back a little bit. The guy who I met with before him said, the one thing I don't want you and your wife to do, you should not squat at all. The first thing the personal trainer tells me to do. All right, so we're gonna have you over here, get on that squat bar. I said, well, but didn't you talk to the other guy? The guy told me not to do. Okay, so I get over there, I do my first 4 sets. Set 3, rep 6, passes that, SpongeBob me. Like, literally, blurred vision. I gotta finish my reps. Do my last few reps, cool. All right, get to the next workout. All right, we go over there, do my first set, some hack squats, get to the second set, I'm going, I get it, I was like, all right. He's like, get back up there. I said, give me 1 second, I just need to drink a little water. Start stumbling over to get my water. He said, you good? I said, I mean, my vision a little blurry. That's normal, right? He said, how blurry? You over there, right? He over here. I said, he said, maybe you should sit down for a second just to double check, make sure you good. Did you eat beforehand? I mean, I had a smoothie. He said, a smoothie? It had protein. Okay. Well, do it one more time. I get up to walk over to the machine. I fall back down. I said, I don't normally do this, I promise, but I think I should sit because I can't see nobody. And he has me, I sit down, I probably wait about 20 minutes, then I go to another machine, but then he's like, this one will be easy because you get to sit for this machine. So I'm doing these hamstring things. Literally, when I tell you, I left 4 days straight. The fastest I could move was this. This is me full speed. I was running. It's just my body was not running. But in my mind, I was over there by now. I was like, I got this. My legs, my ankles, my tibia. I said, how does that? It's a bone. It shouldn't hurt. Everything hurt. But that was the difference between me coming in starving versus me coming in fasting. Pastor Zach, break it down a little bit more. Sometimes, some of you, even if you aren't fasting, spiritually, you're starving yourself because you're not consuming anything that's actually beneficial for your life. Some of you guys don't ever read the Bible, don't ever listen to worship music except when you're here, don't ever talk to God for yourself, and you wonder why you feel like you have a little bit more anxiety, you're a little bit depressed, you just feel a little bit off. It's because spiritually, you have been starving yourself. It's crazy. Physically, I may stop eating during a fast, but spiritually, I get more fed. The exact opposite happens to a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are consuming so much stuff. You consume so much social media. We consume so much TV and movies and video games and times with our friends and times with our family. We're consuming so much, but spiritually, we're starving ourselves. And that's why I feel like I'm here to encourage you. You may have been starving yourself spiritually before, but you can actually start fasting in the natural, which will help you spiritually to feed yourself. Because during a fast, you should be doing a few things. If fasting is done correctly, you should be following the core values of DY, and this is what should be happening in your life. The core values are know God and know people. If you're fasting, you should be reading the Bible, praying, listening to worship music, being in his presence and getting to know him. So as you practically are not eating, you are replacing the time that you would be with eating with doing something spiritually to feed yourself. You should also be doing something to show love to somebody else. There's so many people out here who feel unloved. Can I be honest? I have been that person before. Where I felt like nobody cared. And even the people who said that they did, they was lying. During the fast, we should be physically showing love to God by spending time with him, but that also should encourage us to show love to other people. Show love to your friends, show love to your family. And then finally, as we get to know him more, as we get to love him more, that should also encourage us to serve people around us. Recently, Monday in fact, Pastor Ashley, myself, and Melissa, our district youth outreach coordinator, we went out and we delivered the bags that we made of some of the stuff that you guys collected for our community. We went right up the street in Riverdale and dropped off about 30 bags, about 30 to 40 blankets. Sophia was one of the people who was helping us make stuff, same with some of the stills. And we're so thankful for a lot of you guys who may have been there. But let's take this year and stop focusing on our own situation, on all the stuff that sucks in our life, and start focusing on how God can make them better. Because at the end of the day, God has given us some goals that we should be attaining. Life without goals, in my opinion, meaningless. If you're just walking around aimlessly, you're gonna get bored. And as we get ready to pass some stuff out, there should be one major goal that all of us have. And it comes from Matthew 28:19. And it says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." Someone say all. That was cool. Someone say all. They was all like, yeah, that wasn't us. That was just the leaders in the back. I know. But I think it's valuable for us to realize that when it says go make disciples of all nations, that is one of the goals that we should be attaining. We're going to use it, look at it like this. If my goal is to make disciples of all nations, if this is my goal to hit this, The further away that I go from that, the more difficult it is for me to hit that goal. Derek, can you come here real quick? Joseph, can you come here real quick? Make it fast. Why you move so slow? Zach and Zion, come here real quick. Christian, come here real quick. Cornell, come here real quick. So, I want y'all to get in front of the water bottle. And I need... Can you come here? Yes, you. You. She said, who? Yes, you. Come on. Thank you so much. Come on. You're going to do great. Don't let anybody touch this bottle. Yeah. Okay. Your goal, hold this. Your goal, Ethan, in a second, you're just going to turn some random music up loud. Your goal from here is to hit that water bottle. Don't cover it, give her an actual chance. She's going to throw this hat. She's going to throw this hat at that water bottle, and I don't want you to let it to hit it, okay? That's cool with y'all? Kayla is going to try to hit that water bottle, and we have a large group of people to stop her from hitting it. You can turn the music up, go ahead and throw it and try to hit it. Go ahead. Just try, girl, try. Okay, try again. Let's see what you got, keep going. You got this. Y'all can stop it. If it's coming at you, you can catch it, you can block it, you can do whatever. Just catch it if it comes at you. Give it back to it. One more time. You got this. Boom. Okay. Turn the music down for a second. Say it one more time. How was that possible? Honestly, it wasn't really possible for you. But this is what some of y'all look like walking through life. Y'all are trying to attain a goal. You have all of these distractions in the way, and then you say, well, how is this possible? Let me help you out. You're going to come a little bit closer this time. And then you're going to go down, and you're going to go down, and you're going to go down, and you're going to go down. You're going to go down. And you're going to stand right down there. You good? Right there, that's perfect. Stay right there. Now you gotta stop her from hitting it. 3, 2, 1, go. Go ahead. Keep going. No, you good. You good. Boom! Give her a round of applause. I said give her a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, turn the music down one more time. Question, was that easier? Like a lot easier?
Yes.
Did you hit it? So you hit it. This is the difference between when you walk spiritually empty with a bunch of things in your life that you don't need in your life versus when you walk where you physically may be a little bit more tired because you've been fasting, but it's a little bit easier to attain the goal that God has for you. And I know a lot of you are distracted right now by the paper. Everybody, for a quick second, you can go find a seat. Thank you so much. You can go back to your seat. Everybody stop writing. Stop drawing. Thank you. Everybody lean in. Catch this. God has a goal for you to attain. Y'all saw that list, and I love that a lot of you guys already wrote stuff down. Let me make it really clear. The most important goal in your life should be, especially if you're a Christian, well, this is what everybody's called to, just some people don't know it. But if you're a Christian, the most important goal, lean in, Christian. Thank you. The most important goal in your life should be making disciples. That means telling your friends, focus. That means telling your friends about Jesus. If you're not doing that, let me be clear, you're going to make all of the other things in your life more difficult. Because if you have more people who love Jesus in your circle, everything else becomes easier. Not perfect, but easier. You saw there was still a distraction there. But the distraction was nowhere near as difficult when she put Jesus first and she was able to focus on her goal. You can lean back. So we're going to go ahead and put this on Never Walk Alone on, not the video, just the audio version. You can look up the song Never Walk Alone. And what I want you to do, as most of you have noticed, I want you to write a prayer. Whoa, said that word weird. I want you, everybody listening like, Pastor Zach, you good? I'm tired. I want you to write a prayer request down. And I also want you to write one goal down. But let's be clear, the goal that you write down should be a person that you want to lead to know more about Jesus. Don't write, I want to have good grades. That's cool. You can write that too. That could be part of your prayer request. But your official goal, the most important goal for you, should be a person who may not know Jesus that you can share him with. Because that's going to be the thing that can change somebody's life. And when you're done with your paper, what you're going to do, you're going to grab it. You're going to bring it right up here to the stage. You're going to drop it off. You don't have to write your name on it. This is between you and the Lord. You can if you want to. The leaders will be praying over all these prayer requests. But if we don't know nobody's name, we're not going to be pressed. We can pray even without knowing who it's for. Well, we want you to come up here, put the paper down, because we want to be able to pray for it. And as you bring your paper up, so everybody's going to come up to the stage and put it on the front of the stage, you're going to stay up here because we're going to do one more quick song of worship. I just want to read a few of the lyrics, because this is going to be a song that we start doing on Wednesdays. And this song is really special to me, because I feel like it's very valuable for what District Youth stands for. It starts by saying, I know his heart is for me. I know that his ear is listening. I know that I'm safe in his love. That he has angels watching over me. I know that he's always present. He's always with me. And it says, I have never walked alone. I've never been abandoned. He is my inheritance. He is my strength, my shield, and I have confidence that he will go before me and he will deliver me, because I've never walked alone. And the reason I feel like this song is valuable, and the reason I wanted us to do it tonight, is because here at District Youth, we say it all the time, but I really do believe it, that this is a place where you belong. Like, I mean that to my depth. To my core, I mean that you can come in here however you are. That doesn't mean that we want you to stay like you are forever, because we love you. We want you to become the best versions of yourself. But however you came in here, we care about you, we love you, and we're glad you're here. And that's what this song says. That no matter where you go, no matter what has happened, what has transpired, you have never walked alone, because God has always been with you. And that's the same type of heart that we're going to have here at District Youth. So, God, I just thank you for who you are. I thank you for each and every single person who was in this room or in this service. God, I ask that they would just really have a glimpse of you and really believe who you are, God. I ask that you would just bring healing and wholeness and health to people's lives, God. I thank you that we will begin to focus on you. I thank you that no matter what has happened up to this point and what's going to happen after this, God, that we would go for the one goal that you've given us, to make disciples. And I thank you that we would first become a disciple ourselves. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.